He was 11 years old. He had saved every dollar he'd ever earned, mowing lawns, selling gum, delivering newspapers. He walked into a brokerage office, bought his first stock. Then he panicked, sold too early, and watched helplessly as the price kept climbing without him. That single mistake, made by a child, would become the most important lesson in the greatest investing career the world has ever seen. Most investors spend their whole lives trying to learn what Warren Buffett figured out before he was a teenager. This is the story of how it all began. Omaha, Nebraska, 1941. The world was at war. America was still climbing out of the Great Depression. Most families were careful with money. Every dollar mattered. But one boy in Omaha had already turned caution into obsession. Warren Edward Buffett was born on August 30th, 1930, right in the shadow of the crash that had wrecked the American economy. His father, Howard Buffett, was a stockbroker and congressman. Money wasn't just a topic in the Buffett house. It was the air they breathed. By age 6, Warren was already selling chewing gum door to door. By age 10, he was visiting the New York Stock Exchange on a family trip. He watched the ticker tape machines spin. Something clicked. He didn't see gambling. He didn't see chaos. He saw a system, a machine that rewarded patience and punished panic. He wanted in. By age 11, after years of saving, he had accumulated $114.75. Every cent he'd earned from paper routes, gum sales, and odd jobs. It was 1942, and Warren Buffett was ready to make his move. Warren had done his research. He had chosen City Service Preferred, a gas and oil utility company. He bought 3 shares at $38.25, a total investment of $114.75. His sister Doris joined him. She bought in too. But the market didn't cooperate. City's Service Preferred dropped to $27 per share. Almost immediately after they bought in, the stock fell. Warren watched the price fall every single day. And every single day, Doris reminded him, she hadn't asked to lose money. She had trusted her little brother. The pressure was enormous for an 11-year-old, so he made his first major investing mistake. He waited, just barely, for the stock to recover, and the moment it crawled back up to $40 per share, he sold. He had made a small profit, $5.25 total. He exhaled, crisis over. Then he watched the price, and watched, and watched. City's Service Preferred rose to $202 per share. Warren had sold at $40 and left $162 per share on the table. That $486 in missed profits, nearly 5 times his original investment, evaporated because of impatience, not because he had lost money. He had actually made money. He was devastated because he had panicked. He had let fear override everything logic was telling him. He made $5.25. The stock went on to make $487.50 for anyone who held. Patience equals $487.50. Panic equals $5.25. This wasn't just a financial lesson. It was a psychological one. The market hadn't punished Warren for picking a bad stock. He had picked a great stock. The market had punished him for listening to his emotions.
Warren sits at his desk. He opens a worn notebook. He begins to write, "Never lose patience."
That moment forward, Warren Buffett made a decision that would define his entire career. He would never sell a great company early again. He would let time do the work. At age 13, he filed his first tax return, deducting his bicycle as a business expense for his paper route. At age 15, he had saved $2,000, equivalent to roughly $28,000 today. At age 17, he was running a pinball machine business, placing machines in local barber shops and splitting the revenue. He was studying Benjamin Graham, the father of value investing, before most people had heard of him. Graham's core idea was devastatingly simple. A stock is not a lottery ticket. A stock is a piece of a real business. Buy it when it's cheap, hold it when it's growing, sell it almost never. Warren devoured everything Graham had ever written. Then he applied to Columbia Business School specifically to study under Graham. Graham gave Buffett the only A+ he had ever awarded a student. The student had become the master's equal, and Warren Buffett was only 20 years old. In 1965, Warren Buffett took control of a failing textile company called Berkshire Hathaway. He didn't sell. He didn't panic. He held. Berkshire Hathaway's stock price in 1965 was $18 per share. Today, the single share costs more than $620,000. One share that cost $18 in 1965 is worth more than $620,000 today. That is not luck. That is patience, compounded over 6 decades. Warren Buffett's net worth in 2024 stands at approximately $130 billion. The boy who sold too early, who left $162 per share on the table at age 11, never made that mistake again. Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. He still lives in the same house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. He still drinks cherry Coke for breakfast. He still eats at the same local diner. The richest investors in the world fly to Omaha every year just to hear him speak. And the lesson he shares every time is the same one he learned from a 3-share investment in 1942. The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. Is it logic speaking, or is it fear? Warren Buffett built a $130 billion fortune on lessons most investors still refuse to learn. Not because those lessons are complicated, because they require something harder than intelligence. They require patience. If this video made you think differently about how you invest, or how you handle fear, hit like and subscribe. We cover the stories behind the world's biggest financial moments every week.